looking here at email, specifically spam when it comes to dark data. Now, I would like to show you this brief video here just to give you some idea about the polluting nature of email. Now, it says here, every minute we're online is as bad as burning this much coal. So you have various social media apps and texts and things like that. And so here, even, YouTube, things like that, 300 kilograms per minute of CO2 equivalent of burning coal. I think, well, that's quite a lot. Ooh. Emails, 232,000 kilograms of coal every minute. So it's the equivalent amount of CO2 of burning that much coal, okay? So think, wow, never really thought about email as polluting. How come? Well, really, I mean, like I said, every email that you send, that you keep on your drive, requires energy. It's being stored somewhere. And if you retrieve it, then you are using energy to retrieve it, to look at that. The average email has a carbon footprint, of about, I think we average to make about 4 grams of CO2, okay? Now imagine your own personal email server here, whether it's, Yahoo or an Outlook or Google, whatever it may be. Imagine how many emails that you currently have either just sitting there not doing anything. And you combine that with your work email and you figure, yeah, okay, fair enough. You need to do something about this. Now, that 4 grams of CO2 for an average email that you send can escalate enormously if you're attaching a media file or a document to it, or even if you have a large email signature, maybe you have a Giphy or an HD image you just haven't thought about at the bottom of your email. Now, those are things that we will touch upon about best practices to help reduce the carbon footprint of your email, okay? But just know this, the best thing you guys can do is go in and delete unwanted emails. We're going to touch upon spam in a moment as well. Now, you may think, well, emails, how many are sent? Well, just to give you an idea, guys, 333 billion emails are sent around the world every day. Every day. So obviously you multiply that by 365, and you can suddenly see why even a small amount of grammage of CO2, how it can become significant. And if we all do our part, all those savings can actually combine together to be a significant amount of CO2 that we save. Now, for a company employee, it's estimated that about 140 emails are being processed every day. That will equate to 34,300 emails a year. The CO2, the carbon footprint of processing those emails is 168 kilograms. And that's just for one employee for email. Now, you imagine how many employees you may have, or even it's just yourself. You think, wow, my carbon footprint is really that big? Yeah, that's the same amount as driving, let's say, from London to Brussels, or the disposable cups of tea, 2,100 cups. So it is a considerable carbon footprint and something we all need to think about how to reduce. Now, I mentioned spam. To give you an idea, okay, so spam are those annoying emails that you never ever see, go straight into your, your junk box, a complete waste of time. Now, how many spam emails were sent in 2019? 107 billion. Yeah, almost a third of the emails sent every day are spam emails, okay? So the first thing you can do, reduce the carbon footprint, is to delete your spam emails. Okay, we're going to touch on now a couple of other best practices, if you like. If you were to just delete your spam, however, every person deleted just 10 spam emails a day, just 10. The amount of electricity we would save would be enough to power 5 million UK households, yeah? That's 55 million kilowatt hours, just for reference. That's just through deleting 10. Now, imagine if you can delete all of them, yeah? Or you were able to unsubscribe and you never received them in the first place. Wow, we really could be onto something there, right? So best practice. So small changes can make big differences to our carbon footprint. So here are a couple of tips and tricks, almost, if you like, to help reduce the CO2 from your email, right? So number one, the right audience. Only send emails to the people who actually want to receive them. Don't be sending them to people who are just going to delete them. It's not pertinent. You're creating a carbon footprint every time you do that. Key version here, guys. If you're going to send an email, don't attach a video, or it might even be that you can't because it's too big, right? You've got these limits on size. Hyperlink the information. What I mean by that is, if that document or that file can be put somewhere else on a Google Drive, on a cloud platform, you don't have to email that document with the, it doesn't have to be an attachment. That can boost the carbon footprint of an email by an enormous amount. What you can do is simply hyperlink. You can link to that document. So when people receive the email, it's much smaller. If they then want to view the document, maybe they don't even want to, but if they do, they can then access it through the drive. And yes, that is going to create a carbon footprint. There's no way around that. Okay, we're not saying you can't stop creating a carbon footprint. But by doing this, you're creating a smaller carbon footprint because the technology being used is much more efficient. If you ever try, downloading something from Google, it happens very quickly. Their data centers are incredibly efficient and very effective at downloading information. Emails are not. It's a bloated, it's legacy software, it's a legacy technology a lot of the time. Created 25 years ago, it's just not used to handling this content. Hence why the carbon footprint is so large. Now, something here just about time efficiency, really. Create a dedicated email response time in your schedule. Instead of just looking at emails all the time, have a specific time in your day that you are going to answer those emails. Now, moving on, we suggest you check the content of your emails. I mean, I don't know how many times you maybe sent an email and either you've missed out some information or you said, please find attached, the document for your signature, and you forgot to attach it. Obviously, that means you've got to do another email, again, increasing the carbon footprint unnecessarily. The correct mailing list as well. Make sure that you're maintaining lists. People who leave businesses change email. Make sure you're not getting undelivered emails. And of course, the key one here, guys, another one is unsubscribe. A lot of you might be on mailing lists that you no longer want. You get it, bang, press delete. Okay, great, deleted it. You're still actually having an effect on the carbon footprint by receiving that email in the first place. So if you unsubscribe, that email doesn't get sent to you. Okay, yes, it's a tiny amount of carbon footprint you're saving here, might a small amount of CO2, but if everyone was to do that, the savings would be significant. And finally, a very good piece of advice, especially predominantly aimed at those working in offices. Have you actually considered going and talking to the person you need to talk to, as opposed to sending an email asking, what do you want for lunch? Actually go and talk to them, okay? You are then reducing your carbon footprint. You could maybe have a tracker on how many emails you send every day. Are you able to reduce that? If you are wanting to speak to a client, if it's just a simple email, throwaway email, consider picking up the phone. Carbon footprint of a phone call is a lot less than the carbon footprint of an email. And to that end, what I've classed here as, let's say, email discipline. If everyone in the UK who uses emails was simply to send one less thank you email every day, it would save 16,433 tons of CO2. So this is just from being flippant, small little emails that you think, great, thanks, and just be mindful of everything that you're doing when it comes to email. You're creating a carbon footprint. It's getting larger. So, ask yourself, do you really need to send that? Now, we've all seen, things along the bottom of emails, do you need to print this email? Think about it. Well, I know now you can get signatures that say, do not respond to this email. Now, even by responding to this email, you are unnecessarily creating a larger carbon footprint. So these are all things to think about, guys. Yeah. So, if you, bamboozled with information, take this away, reduce your digital carbon footprint by deleting your spam, deleting your deleted items, and just tidying up your inbox. Unsubscribe from those emails. Make sure that you are a more rigorous emailer. And of course, if you can not use email, but move to a subsequent things like messaging apps or phone calls, I say move, I don't mean stop using it. We know that's not going to happen, but just use it more efficiently and maybe use other ways of communication which have a smaller carbon footprint.